Hello and welcome to the Epicon podcast. My name is Mariam. Today we are recording from Sofia in Bulgaria. We just had a meeting with a new delegation of Israelis and Palestinians who joined us for the Epicon events here. And today for the podcast, I'm joined by Dr. Tahani Abu Daqqa. She is the former Palestinian Minister of Youth and Sport and former Minister of Culture. She's also the CEO and founder of Gaza Life Power for renewable energy. And she is over 40 years. She's working for community development in Gaza, working on different initiatives. And I'm very happy that she is joining us today. Welcome.
Thanks.
So first, what I want to do is talk, because you're also a Gaza War survivor. So and you are displaced in Cairo at the moment. So this is your present situation. But first, I want to talk a bit about your past, how you grew up, and what motivated you to work in the field of community development and politics, if you don't mind sharing.
You will back me for a very long time, but it's maybe sometimes I try to remember all these history and what happened in my life. I grew up in a village called Abasan al-Kabira with family, which they were working in agriculture. Maybe there is educated people from the generation of my parents, but my parents, they weren't educated. My father was working in agriculture, and after that he went to Germany to work there. And when I grew up, I didn't find father around me. And after that, my mother and sister follow him, and they stay in Gaza with my brother for our education. That time, I was, while I'm 12 years old, I started to discuss why I'm not with my parents. I said because of the occupation, because my father, he in 1967 was in Germany, and after that he couldn't back to Gaza because he wasn't there in 1996. They deal with him that he is not a Gazan. And I stay alone with my brother, my cousin, my uncle home. And after that, I start to see that we have to fight this occupation because it's cut the families. There is a lot of also of my relatives, uncles, and which is they were in 1967 outside the country. They couldn't back to Gaza. When I finished my education, I was while in the secondary school demonstrate against occupation. And I was looking to be with the PLO political parties, but it wasn't available for anyone that time because it has to be hide.
What year was that? Sorry? What year was it? In which year?
In 1976, 77. And after my parents, they came to Gaza and they take me and they changed from Germany to Libya, and they took me with them to Libya. I spent 2 years there. I didn't like the life there. I don't feel that I can do what I want as in Gaza, and I said that we have to back to our country. We can build everything. It's in another country, and we have it in Gaza. And I married and back to Gaza. It was my conditions. Who will marry me? We have to back to live in Gaza, and I back to Gaza. I start to think why all the girls like to marry a person outside. not in Gaza or not in Abasan, our village. I discovered there is no work opportunity, there is no independency for the girls, there is no kindergarten, and it was nothing in that. I said that we have to do, and I invited with my uncle wife, we started to invite women there that we have to do something, and we make a cooperative for women as biscuit industry from the experience of the ladies. And after that, I invited from the Women Action Committee, which belonged to the one political group, to be with them, and we started to be with them, and I started to work between West Bank and Gaza and connect the women from all Palestine together, and we start to develop our biscuits factory and to sell it in West Bank. And after that, we thought about yogurt factory in the first Intifada, because we boycott all the Israeli product, and we don't have any Gazan product or Palestinian product. For that, we start also to produce yogurt and cheese and something like this. And we developed our work, and we opened around 25 kindergarten in Gaza. And also we open handmade carpets from the wool, from the real sheep wool, wool. And also then it's an opportunity for women to work, opportunity for women to go to travel around, in Gaza or in West Bank, and to say what they want to say. They feel that the situation starts to be better. There is a kindergarten, there is a nursery for them and everything. That time I noticed that a lot of families back from outside to Gaza, because they say that Gaza had a better situation. And also I think about to develop agriculture. But that time I don't have enough money. But when I married, they give money for the bride to buy gold, to buy clothes. I took this money and I built the first greenhouse for agriculture in Gaza. And after that, we started to develop it. And because also while in Libya, I study fashion design. Also, I opened a factory for the clothes. And it opened work opportunity for around 20 women in this factory. And I was working with Israel, with the factory in Israel. I prepare everything for them and sent to them, and they were exported to outside, I don't know where. But until the first Intifada, the Israeli army, they closed the factory, clothes, because they say that you will make the flags, the Palestinian flag in this factory, and they took me to jail. I spent in jail 6 months. I was pregnant, but they killed my baby. Maybe it was 3 months. And also I had another baby, which is her name Maryam, as you, and her age was 1 year. And she spent around 1.5 months, and after that I see it's not good for her to be in jail. And
so she was with you while you were in jail. You were pregnant and you had one kid with you.
One kid, yeah. And after that, when I came back from the I had my freedom from the jail. I started to work more in political issues, fighting against occupation, demonstrate, and building more women activities, and encourage women to go out, to speak, to do everything, until Oslo ideas come. I was supporting Oslo. And also I building awareness among our people about peace, about we have to be in security, about two-state solutions and everything. And that time the children, they're very typical, they educated and they learned that they have to, to demonstrate against occupation. Mm-hmm. Any kind of tanks, any kind of car passing the street, they draw stones on it. Then we think that we have to re-educate the children and to give him hope, not only to see blood and everything. We built with another 5 women organization called Culture and Free Thought Organization, open clubs for these children. We give him free spaces to draw what they see, and we educated and building awareness for them. The first, they try to draw only dead people, blood, tanks, guns, everything like this. But in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they started to draw live flowers, family, and that everything. And we developed our organization until it started to be very big organization. Now we have more than 300 volunteers and more than 100 staff, permanent staff. And also I found another organization for women, and we develop a lot of projects and training for women. And also I developed a project, the first model in the world that food for work. It was WFB work, distributing food to the family. I tell him I don't like that the people to take the food for nothing, and for that I tell the families, I will give you monthly food, but you have to do 2 things. The first, you have to work as a volunteer in your neighborhood to clean, to make maintenance for school, for any public building, and the women must to come to the training. The training, it's about nutrition, how she can use this this material for do something good for her children and her family, and another health awarenesses and everything. The people, they do that because for food, they send their wives to training before they weren't sent, and and they also work in the neighborhoods. They develop their neighborhoods, and it was good. After that, WFB, they take it over the world. They work like this, food for work or cash, work for cash. And after that, when Oslo, the Palestinian Authority come, I remember that I have to back to my university because I left the university while I'm working and struggling against the occupation for women, for freedom and everything.
What did you study at the university?
In management entrepreneurship. Okay. And my master in business administration. I'm not a doctor, I don't have a doctorate, but when the active women and to be minister, the people, they didn't say you Tahani, okay. Say doctors, and all the people, they take it, but I'm not. And after that, I finished. When I finished my education, also in the same times, I was working in international organizations about as a community development advisor and community contribution. When we make any kind, the donor come to fund, we make any design for projects for something, I have to invite communities, women, children, men, to consult them about what they like to do, what if they want a kindergarten, what the kind of kindergarten they want, gardens, public gardens, what the kind of public gardens they want, what they want to see in this public garden, and how to manage that, and also if they want any kind of services, priority, for example, kindergarten, health center, road, making road or something like this. That time we see that success useful of the project which the people contribute in that. The mayor in the first tell me, "Oh, Tahani, we don't want to do garden because the people, they will destroy everything." I tell him, "Please wait." And when I invite the people and they plan and they take care of this garden. And after that, all the donors, they started to do the same, to establish a neighborhood committee, to consult population in this place, and make a development projects. And I see it's a very development approach. And after that, we had the election. And I didn't tell you also, I passed the election in 1967, the first election, but I didn't succeed because I wasn't with any political group as a person. And in 2006, Salam Fayyad called me that he want me to be with his list for election, and I passed the election. But also I didn't win because in our list only 2 persons win, Hanan Ashrawi and Salam Fayyad. And after that, after the problems between Hamas and Fatah, and Hamas, they took over Gaza, President Abu Mazen asked Salam Fayyad to make a government, to be a prime minister for a government, and he invited me to be with him. And I changed my place to West Bank, and I spent 2 years in the ministry, but I didn't find myself in the ministry. And also, I like to back to Gaza. I don't want to stay in West Bank. All the government that time resigned, and they established another one. But I said that now it was difficult to back to Gaza because the Israelis forbidden me to back to Gaza. They didn't give me a permit. What I have to do that time, I learn about environmental issues and about renewable energy and sun energy. And we had that time problems with Area C, which is they couldn't have water, they couldn't have electricity. Israel, they don't allow them to take electricity from the grid. We thought about this, why we didn't do for them solar energy. And to do solar energy, we have to develop the laws. To find there is a laws for renewable energy in the Palestinian Authority. We established Palestinian Association for Sun Energy and Renewable Energy. And we pushed the government to develop laws for that, and they did. And after that, we started to encourage the private sector to work in that, but it was difficult for private sector. And we get fund and we build some solar energy projects in the Area C, lighting the road also in Area C and something like this. But I back to Gaza, I have to do something for Gaza. When I try to encourage the private sector to work in that, they were afraid. It's a new things, a new technology. They don't feel that they will succeed. For that, I establish Gaza Life Power to implement solar energy project. In that time, I was in a conference in Kibbutz Kitora in the south of Israel, and it was organized by Arava Institute for Environmental Studies. I like this work, and I tell them I want to take their experience to Gaza. For that, we started a partnership with them. If we want to start a partnership, we have to be NGOs. For that, it was my colleague Ashraf Ajrami with me, and he was making founded the More organization, and I tell him why you take this organization and make it for environmental studies, environmental issues, and we can implement environmental project in Area C and in Gaza, and we did that. And we started to implement projects in Gaza as wastewater treatment, water destinations, agriculture, solar energy, and everything. But I was still thinking about solar energy field, and because you know that in Gaza it was a lack of electricity. We had only around 60 megawatt, and the Gaza need for more than 500 megawatt. For that, most of this industry, they stopped because there is no electricity. And also for the people, they have 8 hours electricity and 8 hour cut. They don't have all the time electricity. I struggle with the government and with the people, with the governmental organization in Gaza to get agreement with them to build the solar field. I get a loan from Bank of Palestine with guarantee from a project called Sunref. It's funded by French government, and I built the projects. We finished. I was in Gaza to celebrate the opening in this project when we connect to the grid, and the 7th of October started. And in the first week, they destroy all the project, and all the projects we built it in previous time. After that, they destroyed the hope. They destroyed all our hope or our childhood, everything. And also I look at it. Okay, the Europeans, they pay for us for this to build these projects. And after they pay for Israel and they sent guns to Israel and to destroy these things. What kind of world we are? The first moment, I don't believe in peace and everything. I spent in my life more than 45 years working for peace building. And also I find my community, my people, my leader to work in peace and to have a connection with the Israeli population, to have agreement with the population, to push our government to go to the peace direction.
And after that, it was all gone for a moment.
Yeah. And after that, I found my friend in Israel and my Jewish friend around the world. They started to connecting me. They were afraid about me, and maybe more than other Palestinian friends outside Gaza. For that, I back again. I said that still there is a hope. We can stop all this violence if we work together. During this time, I found myself in Gaza, displaced in the Mawasi area. Mawasi area, this is a place which is no infrastructure in that. Nothing. Only few buildings, small building for the families when they came to the beach, because it's Mawasi area, it's in the beach. And because I went the first family went to Mawasi because all the family, they was afraid to go to Mawasi. But I learned from the UN reports that they will change their offices because the Israeli tell them the Mawasi, it will be green area, you have to change your offices there. For that, I got from the beginning. I found a place because it was a beginning. After that, all the families from the south, from the north, from eastern area on all Gaza, they evacuated to Mawasi. They didn't find that place. They're sitting in the street. I went to international organization to push them to do something. They said that we don't have an emergency plan. We don't have things. And also our organization, we don't have money for relief. all our projects, it's for development projects, and we couldn't use this money for another things. The fairs, the donors, they have to confirm that. And the donation was from USAID, and they stopped all the projects after 7th of October. Then I have to do something for the people. I try to build shelters. The first from my own money, from my brothers, after that, my family, Abu Daqqa family, the people outside the country, they start to send me money, and I start to build shelters. And after that, we found that the women, and I meet women which is they didn't have a shower for 3 months, and they didn't find a place to go to as toilet, and also they didn't change their underwear for 3 or 4 months. I see it's a big problem. I back to also a Culture and Free Thought organization, which is in the board. I tell them that we have to do something. We have to start to build shelter. I connect the UN, and we started also to build shelter. And after that, our partner, Arvan Institute, they said we have to follow what Tahani did. We have to find fund to develop the shelters and to build the new shelters. And we did that. And also my daughter, she was in Germany, and also she tried to collect money to build toilets for random shelters. It was a random shelters without any toilet, and she established an organization with a Jewish lady in Germany, the organization called Krill Shelter, and they're starting to raise a fund. And they help us to build Zoomi shelters, which is only for families guided by women, with showers and toilet, very well organized, take care of the families. And after that, also they decide to work in water, to make water distillation and to distribute water for all the shelter. And we as a Damor continue building new shelters and distributing food, hot meal, and also sometimes we bring clothes, blanket, mattresses to the families. Until now we are working in that, but it's our work, it's not enough, because now 2 million persons are evacuated, and there is no place, and the situation, it's very difficult. This time while I'm in Gaza, before to get out, I met a lot of things. Children cutting to pieces, families with 100 persons. The house is destroyed and they stay under the rubble until now. Only women, and she lost all her family, her husband, her parents, her children. Children with no hands, no legs, without any family. Who will take care of these children? There is a lot of difficult things to accept or to think about. For that, I start to think for future, what we will do with these children, what we will do with these families. If we have a ceasefire, it's not easy to rebuild Gaza, need to take the rubble out. We start to plan for what it called transmission period, to build, develop shelter with all the services. And also I encouraged all the organization around the world. We have to think about these children, to build a children village. We have to do, but until now we couldn't get anything. We couldn't get material. We couldn't do anything. We are waiting a real and permanent ceasefire to start to work and to help these families.
Okay. And you left Gaza in April 24, right?
Yeah.
So before that, you were working on the project from inside, and then you continued from Cairo to manage these projects?
Yeah, when I left Gaza, I left to go to Germany because we have a yearly delegation meetings with German parliamentarians and the government. In that time, my colleague told me this is very important time to come to Germany, to be with us, to speak about Gaza and everything. They helped me to get out because from the beginning, the Israeli, they didn't allow me to get out of Gaza. They helped me, and also Israeli friends. They help put pressure in their government, and I get out of Gaza to go to Germany and back again to Gaza. But when I back from Germany, Israeli, they closed the border and they occupied it, and Gaza's closed until now. I couldn't back to Hada. I stay in Cairo because the Cairo only the country which they accept the Palestinian to stay there without any residency, without anything. I am there illegally. But they give us freedom to do what we want if we don't do political issues or we don't disturb their security. I invited my colleagues and we started to think what we can do. And also I stayed following the work in Gaza, developing shelter, receiving call, looking at the need. I'm trying to develop the project for their need, and we get fund for that. And also in Egypt, we are trying also to work collecting assistance and send it to Gaza as materials, for example. But after that, also they closed they stopped all the humanitarian supplying for maybe 6 months, and the starvation started in Gaza. And also I tried to travel around the world to ask governments and parliamentarians and the people. They have to work hardly to stop this starvation and to open the border for a humanitarian assistance. And they open again, but they not open for everything. Any example, they allow dry food. There is no milk, there is no meat, it was no vegetables. One of my relatives, he said his children 3 years old, which is when the war started, he was maybe 10 months. When he gave him bananas, he was afraid because he doesn't know what a banana. He never see bananas, and most of the children like this. And we were happy when the ceasefire started, and we would prepare everything, our plan for the day after. But until now, we don't feel there is a ceasefire. The killing the people, the people still they displaced in Mawasi area. There is no enough humanitarian assistance come to Gaza. There is no tent. There is no winter clothes. And now there is a flood in Gaza because of the rain, heavy rain, and the people, they are swimming all the time in water, and their life is disaster.
Yeah, I heard you say in the meetings a lot that also like the issue right now is not to rebuild Gaza, it's for later. Like what we need now is a sustainable peace agreement. That's something that you highlighted. So what, in your opinion, would a sustainable peace agreement look like, and who are the actors who should take the action now to reach this kind of agreement? The first, I need the war to stop, and the killing of the Gazans to be stopped, and also don't transfer Gazans. And after that, to rebuild Gaza, we couldn't start because they destroyed Gaza in 2008 and rebuilt. And 2012 and rebuilt, and 2014 and we rebuilt. But we don't want to also invest, our donations from different countries and all our money or
our family's money to rebuild Gaza, to develop a project, and after it will be destroyed. I don't want any country to build anything before we have permanent peace agreement, because we don't want to back again to the war. We don't want to put all our efforts in building things and after we lose it. For that, I think about transmission, shelter, green and sustainable shelter, to make it microgrid in different places, good conditions, good small places to the family to live, and all the services until we have a negotiation and we have permanent peace agreement. Who will be responsible for that, or who we expected that he can help us in that? You know that from the first day of the war, we was expected that Europe will not allow anything to happen. Europe, they educated us about humanitarian law, human law, about women rights, children rights, and how to save the women, children during the war, and a lot of things. We said that all these countries signed these kind of declarations, and they will save us. But the surprise, all their countries were silent, and they gave excuse to Israel to do that, to what happened after 7th of October. And we never put our hope in America. But maybe Trump, he came out of our expectation, and he moved to stop the war, and he did. He tried to make a permanent ceasefire, and I expect that he will do. And also he working to solve the Palestinian problem. Maybe who did that? He did that because he want to win a Nobel Prize. He want to make something different, but his work, if he succeeds to achieve it, he will be the first person he can solve the Palestinian and Israeli problem, which is continue for more than 80 years. Then I think he will be, in my view, he will be the hero if he succeeds to do that. And I hope that Europe will learn from this lesson. They keep silent, and because they were waiting America, and the America, when they decide to do that, they didn't consult the European. They didn't invite the European to be with them in this occasion.
But do you think that Europe still has something to say, still has leverage, or do you have any expectations after your disappointment that there's something they should and could do now to support peace?
They were thinking about the day after. These sentences, I hate to hear about it.
The day after?
Yeah, I need the day. I need you to help me to arrive to the day of the ceasefire. And after that, if you help me, I will be thankful for you. But if you didn't, also, I will not blame you. But we as a Palestinian, we can't do it. The first, we have to stay alive. And now that the European, they put a lot of efforts to rebuild Gaza. But they put their efforts before, and after that, everything destroyed. I tell you that in my project, when I built this solar field, the French government, they give the bank the guarantees to give me a loan. And all the projects which is implemented, it's funded by EU. And after that, they give Israel weapons, and it's destroyed by German, by French, by most of European country weapons. All our houses is destroyed by their weapons. For that, now my request for them to work for peace. The best thing to do, the first, to work for peace, to what it called to make action according to the international law, human law, and children about 1325, about Geneva Declaration. There is a lot of things to develop it and to make accountability why it happened, why Hamas did, and they have to pay the price, and also by killing the civilians. Hamas, we can blame them that they killed the civilians, not the occupation armies. And also, Israeli government, it has to be also to go to court and to pay the price for what they did, according the international laws and UN declarations, not for another issues, not because we are Palestinian and not because they are Jewish. No, because of we are human and there is international law and they didn't follow the international laws. For that, this is my expectation from the European population more than the European government. And I want to tell them, don't be relaxed and unguilty if you pay money to build Gaza. You couldn't back my family. You couldn't back me, all the dear person which I live them. You couldn't back the hands and the arms for the children which they are now. Lose everything. The things, it's maybe they will not feel guilty if they make accountability for all the people which they don't follow the law. I mean, all the people, if the Palestinian or Israelis, and also to work for peace. The best things to do it for the God and for the humanity, that to build permanent peace in all the area, in all the world. Enough killing, enough war, enough blood. We need to be in security. We don't want to see even in another country something like what happened in Gaza to happen again.
And just because yesterday we were sitting down in Sofia with the Europeans, and then we were also sitting down with the Israelis. So like in the scope of EPICON, this trilateral character of Palestinians, Israelis, Europeans. And now you talked about your expectations towards the Europeans. And what are your expectations towards the Israelis? Let's say not the Israeli government, but more like Israeli civil society. And also because there are a lot of people who are also working for peace, who want the war to end. But what is your expectations as a Palestinian, as a Gazan who was there? What are your expectations?
My expectation, there is no expectation from the Israeli government. There is no expectation from only to make to killing more people and to see blood everywhere from Netanyahu and Smotrich and Ben Gvir government. They will not be. They will not stop until they see all the transfer all the Palestinians from Gaza and West Bank. Their mentality like this. They don't want any Arab, any Muslim to stay in all Palestine, and they want to take over all the land. But the hope it's in population, the Israeli citizen, that to be against that. Because I don't, how they can sleep, how they can be happy in their life if they saw all these people which is they were killed and transferring the people from their houses, from their land, and for them to live in. And also, I want to tell them that you will never have a security or a quiet situation if the Palestinian, they didn't take their right. If your neighbor not live in peace, not have a security, not have his right, you will never have it. Because I tell that for the Israelis, when they were happy when make the peace agreement with the Arab Emirates, the normalization, they said, "Oh, Netanyahu achieved that, and we will make it with the Saudi." I tell them, you will never be in security if you didn't. If we didn't solve the problem with the Palestinian and give the Palestinian their state. You did before that the peace agreement with Egypt and with Jordan, but you will never succeed to make the normalization. And it will happen for all the Arab countries. Maybe you can make a peace agreement with the governments, but with the population it's difficult. Because the Arab people, still they don't see the Palestinian, they get their rights. And I will tell them that again, that you have to work harder for peace for you as Israelis, for your children and grandchildren. Mm-hmm. If the Palestinian didn't get their right and they have their state, you will suffer, and your children and grandchildren, you will stay suffering and you will not be in security. I hope that all of us be in security. I hope that we be a good neighbor. We organize together. We developed our country together.
And also, because you said that also for a lot of the projects you did, you worked in cooperation with Israeli institutions, for example, the Arava Institute. So was it always like just a normal thing to work together on these projects, or like has something changed? Or do you think in the future, if you like the projects you're working on or you're developing, has cooperation changed, or did it get even stronger?
You know that our work with Arava Institute, this is my way of work from 40 years, as I said before, that there is a good Israeli people, which is they are against the government, which is they are believe in two-state solution, which is they are believe in our rights. They help us, always they trying to help us to take our rights. These people, we have to work with them. We have to help them to also to raise this awareness among all the Israelis. If we want to raise this awareness among all the Israelis, we have to do something good together. We have to show them that we can work together, we can be a partner. Then we have, and also for the Palestinian, they have to know there is a good Israelis. They find themselves in this land. They didn't decide to come to this land and to transfer us. But when they aware about us, they're trying to help us. They believe that we have to have our right, and they're working hard to help us. We face a problem among our people that the most of our people, they didn't agree about our way of work, to work with the Israelis. And also they are suffering from the extremes in Israel, which is they also attack them and fight with them because they are working for the Palestinian and help the Palestinian. But I hope that the people like us, it will be to be more than now. And after that, we can change.
Yeah, I believe so. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time and for sharing your story with us.